Hi everyone, this is Ginger with Gingerberry Creek. I am the creator of Primitive Doll Patterns, and I wanted to do a video today to kind of go over some of the tools of the trade, so to speak, and about like when you get one of my patterns, you'll see a list of supplies needed. I kind of wanted to go over all of those supplies just to give you a little insight of what they are and maybe where I get them and things like that. So first off, when you get a pattern from me, if you purchase a paper pattern, then it'll come in the mail, and it is like this. It will come in a plastic Ziploc bag, and you will open it, and then inside, well, the cover sheet here has the pictures, the information here at the bottom, my information on the top. The back part of the cover page has my terms of use, and then the supplies needed. On the inside, you receive the general instructions that I provide, basically pattern terms, some kind of tips and tricks. You also receive, the actual written instruction on how to do the pattern, and then you'll then receive the pattern template piece page, and there may be like just 1 page, 2 page, 3 pages. It just depends on the pattern. So that's what you get with a pattern when you purchase an e-pattern. You get the same thing, everything that's included in this you get, except for you print it, and it won't be on this nice cardstock here unless you print it like that. But so that is what my patterns come with. And then of course I've always got my free video tutorials about all different kinds of techniques that are available, and I will be updating those and bringing out more as time goes. So anyway, so you'll need your pattern, and then some of the other things that are listed, of course, are the fabrics. So this is the wool felt that I sell, and I'll tell you in the pattern which color to use for which piece. So here's kind of a lighter color and a darker color. They come in different blends and different colors. So I use a lot of the wool felt, and then I also use a lot of the like quilting cotton fabrics like this that are printed for sometimes the front patch piece of like a heart, or even, these are used a lot for the bows and scarves that I put around the necks of the designs and stuff. So these are the two mediums I use a lot. Mostly these two here. Sometimes I'll use a tulle or ribbons, different things like that. So these are the basic two that I use. So those are the fabrics, the textiles. The other thing that you'll see on the pattern are these little, I call them poly pellets, and they are used to weight down the item, to give it some weight so that it sits on its own. And if you don't, I do sell this in my shop. You can get that from me. I sell it by the pound. But this is what it looks like. And they're 100% what they call polypropylene, which is a non-toxic plastic. So it can be used in, those weighted blankets, my projects, and other things. If you don't have these and you don't want to buy them, I know a lot of people may use rice or beans, dried beans, and some people even use like kind of polished pebbles to you know, or rocks to weight down their items. It's just all what, you know, you want to do, and what you feel comfortable with. But I love using this. It works very well. It's, you know, easy to use. So that is what that is when I talk about poly pellets. The other item on the list is stuffing. So stuffing is obviously to stuff all of the little pieces and give it form. So this is what that looks like. And this is made of a polyester, and you can usually get it in any kind of craft store, the big box stores, Walmart, places like that. So easy to come by. Some places sell it by the bag, some places sell it by the box. The next thing are just threads. You know, this is the kind of thread that I use in my sewing machine. And when I sew the openings closed, it's just whatever is recommended, regular all-purpose threads. So this is what is used. A lot of times I just buy some of this from Walmart, or like I said, the craft stores. So easy to come by as well. Let's see. Another item that you will see in my patterns are the beads for the eyes, and I use two sizes. These are the smaller 4mm beads. Sometimes they come in bags, sometimes they come in like on a string, and you have to cut the string. These are the 6mm beads that I use. They have the holes in them so that I can thread them and put them on in the eye area of the project. So, and again, you can usually find them at, you know, jewelry stores, craft stores, Walmart, places like that. Easy to come by, and they're just plain black beads. Nothing real special about them. Some may be lighter than others. It's just up to you what your preference is. So that's another tool of the trade. Let's see. The next thing that you will find on your list is usually what I call DMC thread. And basically I call it DMC thread because that is the name of the company that I usually buy, but there's different brands out there, and you can, it doesn't matter as long as you get the color that's needed for the project. But this is how it comes. It is a, there's like 6 individual threads here, and when I talk about it in patterns, I'll tell you like 1 thread, 2 strands, 1 strand, and that's what I'm talking about, is you'll have to separate these strands. But this is the DMC thread. It comes like this in a skein, or it'll come on a spool like this. And there's different sizes and different colors. So that is what I use when I am doing the primitive stitching on the dolls and everything. So this is a staple that I use a lot of. So that is what when I talk about DMC thread, it's an embroidery thread that is used. The other thing that you'll see are I'll say paint, and this is the type of paint that I'm talking about. The acrylic, like this one's Americana, this is folk art. Again, these are readily found in Walmart, the craft stores, places like that, specialty shops, things like that. So this is what I'm talking about, that's used in like toll painting, stenciling, all kinds of stuff. So this is the type of paint. And there is a tutorial out on how to do the dry brushing and the techniques, so you can watch that if you're not familiar with it. But these are the paints that I'm talking about here. Along with those paints, you'll need the Stencil paintbrushes. So that's on the list of supplies, and they come packaged differently, different sizes, different shapes, all that kind. So you can buy them individually, you can buy them by the package, you can get them online, you can get them at Walmart and the craft stores again. These four right here tend to be the sizes that I use the most. This one is a 1/8 inch brush, and then there's a 1/4 inch brush here. This one is also a 1/4 inch brush, and then I think this one here is, well, that one's a 3/8 inch, a little bit bigger. Now, something that you need to know, they come also in kind of rounded tips. Those work well as well. The thing that you need to know about these are that if the bristles are longer, then it's going to be the bristles are going to give a lot more. If the bristles are shorter, it's going to be stiffer. So it just kind of depends on what you're comfortable with. I kind of tend to go with an in-between, not too long, not too short, because I want it to give a little bit when I'm doing the dry brushing. So, but that's what stencil paint brushes look like. It's used in the stenciling, toll painting, and this is what I talk about in the pattern when I say stencil paint brushes. So, and like I said, those can be found at any craft store and everything, in the local Walmart. Next, another big item that I use a lot of are, I say, disappearing ink pens in my pattern. And you may go, what in the world is that? Well, they come in all kinds of forms. And basically, it's a way to mark the fabric. So that, you can cut it out, or if I say sew along it, anything like that. Now, on these, my favorite ones are these. They're called Frixion pens, and they're just regular pens that are erasable. So if those pens that you can write and then, erase it, they've been around for a long time. Well, they work really good in tracing your patterns. These particular ones, you can mark on the fabric and then use a warm iron and go over it, and it'll take it right away. Do like test on them on different fabrics to see if it leaves a mark of any kind, but I haven't had any problem with them. They work wonderful. I just mark it, sew on it, and then use an iron, and it disappears. You can erase it. There's a little eraser on the top part there. So these work really great. They come in this style here. They also come in kind of like a marker form. And these work well too. So the Frixion is great use. That's what I mean when I talk about disappearing ink pen. If you're using a darker fabric like this brown wool felt, you may need to use one of these, which is more of a chalk tip. And go around your pattern like that. This is the same thing. It comes in several colors there, and you just mark. And then on these, you either just brush them away or use a little, like a wet paper towel, and rub it off, and they they disappear, it disappears. There are also like air drying pins and stuff that after it's exposed to the air for a while, they'll disappear over time. Those work well too. This particular one is called a duo, and you get 2 pins with it. One, it marks, so you mark it, sew it, do all that. And then the other pin that comes with it, it is the erasing pin. So you mark it, you're gonna sew, and then you just take this pin and you rub on it, and it just takes away the line. Works great on these fabrics and the cotton fabrics. So that is what I use. Those are the ones that I use in my patterns, and I wanted to pass that along and show you what I mean when I talk about the disappearing ink pen. So there's several to choose from. Another item that I use a lot are the you'll see long doll needle. And, you know, why do I use that? Well, sometimes, you know, you have to go from one side of the, you know, pattern to the other side, and you need to get over to it. So these work well. They're just long. Usually they have a bigger eye on them, but this is what I mean. And they come in all kinds of sizes. You get real long ones, like even ones that are like I think 9 inches, but these are kind of the basic ones that you get. There's several sizes. You can even get packs that are kind of like this that have the different the hook or U-shaped needle, the big tapestry needle, all kinds. So but when I talk about a long doll needle, these are the kind that I use when I need to, you know, stitch primitively from one, you know, start my thread and go in and go to the other side, and a little needle won't do. I use these bigger long doll needles. Again, you can find these in Walmart and any of the craft stores, and they work great. Another tool that you need to have are some scissors. They come in all kinds. You can get all kinds of scissors. So I have a variety. I even have ones. These are my fabric scissors. I only use these on fabric, and then I have a paper, a pair of scissors just for paper. These work great for cutting out. They have a nice tip on them to get into the corners and go around the curves. So these are my paper cutting scissors. This is what I only use on paper. I do not use these on fabric. And then I have these scissors. I think these are real nice. These are like my favorites. I believe I got these from Nancy's Notions. They came as a set of 3. The large size, this was the medium size, and then there's a smaller pair. They all came with these protective covers on them. I like these because they have a nice grip to the fabric. They cut really nice, and then they grip the fabric real good. It's easy to cut. And then another great thing is if these tips get into the corners really well, so I can snip the corners really easy and make a nice notch out on my fabric in those corners for clipping out the fabric. So these are nice. There's a variety of ones out there. These are a nice pair of gingham type scissors that and they range in price. I even have a pair of scissors that I use just for my ribbon cutting. So it's important to have a good set of scissors, and definitely have a pair that you use just on paper, and then ones that you just use on your fabric. So those are kind of what I use and that I like using, my favorites. Another thing that you will see on the patterns are, let's see, the rusty safety pins that are used for attaching the, I'll bring these in and show you the tags. So I do sell these in my shop, so you can buy these. These are the 1/8, 1 1/8 inch, and they're rusty. They're just a primitive rustic look that it gives to the project. I do sell these in my shop, so you can get them from me. And though that leads me into the tags that I use on the projects. So they're basically tea dyed or coffee dyed tags. I don't make these. I get them from other people, I think on eBay, or even on Etsy. There's people that sell them. So these are the main ones that I use. I use the real, what I call the extra small size. And they come with these threads already on here, but they're nice and grungy looking, and I love using them. And then the next size is what I call an extra small. So these are what I use on some of the projects, kind of like this one. You can see it there in the picture. This was an extra small, and I tell the size of the one that I use. So this would be an extra small. And then there's this one that is just considered a small that I use in some of the projects. And then there's these metal ringed tags that are fun for certain ones. Give a nice little bit different look, but they've also been dyed or stained. But these are what I talk about when I say grungy tags, these particular types. And then the pins hold them to the project. Then some of my patterns you will see, like I talk about 20 gauge rusty wire. And I also sell the rusty wire in my shop. But it usually comes like this on a roll, and you just unroll one end of it and then cut off the amount. But it comes like this. It's all rusty. Don't be surprised if some of this stuff flakes off and whatnot. That's okay. That is normal. But this is the rusty wire. These little bundles come in 30 feet. So you can find those in my shop. Some of the tools that you'll need with working with the rusty wire is a good pair of the wire cutters. These are the ones I use. I think you can find these at like Walmart. You can find them in the craft stores, places like that, places that sell supplies for jewelry. You can get these. They come in kind of like, you can buy them individually or in sets of different supplies. So a good pair of wire cutters you'll need, because you don't want to use your just plain scissors on these. That would ruin your scissors really quick. Another one is just these kind of flat nose pliers. It's great for when you need to like bend the wire in half, or twist it like that. They work great. One item that I absolutely love to use are the, let me just cut that little piece off, are this tool. You can see it has a wire cutter part down here, and then they're kind of little tubes here, and it's great for taking the wire and twisting it in a loop. when I talk about it in the pattern, and you can just keep twisting, grabbing, twisting like that, and it makes a little loop in the end. So if you want, these are great to use for that purpose. You can do the same thing with these, and I will be doing a video on how I go about doing that, a more detailed video on working with the wire. But yeah, those are what I'm talking about when I say rusty wire. Let's see, the next one, sometimes I talk about the baker's twine for like the hangers and whatnot. Now they come in different, you can buy it different ways. You can buy them in these big spools like this, which should last a really long time, and they come in all kinds of colors. Works well. You just thread it onto, you know, a large needle eye, and then you can push it through the fabric. They also sometimes come on these cards, smaller amounts if you don't want to buy this much, but this is the baker's twine. Bakers do use it in like when they need to tie meats and stuff, so that's why it's called baker's twine. But because they use it, like you'll see it around a roast or something like that. So that is the baker's twine. Some of the other tools that I use a lot of are what I call turning tools. And there is a video out on how you do it, but this is kind of what they look like. They come in different sizes with the wooden dowels to help you, and one end is tapered, and there's different sizes depending on your project. This is for like getting into really small places, but here I've just kind of sewn a piece, and all you do is it really does help. You just kind of slide the tube in like that, and then you would use the this end, you would push it here, and it helps you turn this inside out. Like I said, I do have a free video tutorial on turning pieces in right side out, but this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about those. Another thing for turning and just helping are these. These are great for turning. They're also great for stuffing when you need to grab off chunks of stuffing like that and then stuff into. You'll see in the video tutorials me doing that with the forceps. It's easy. There's several sizes that you can get. These are the two kind of sizes that I use the most for when I need to turn something or, you know, help with stuffing an item. And these, sometimes you can find them at the craft stores. I haven't seen them in Walmart. I know you could probably find some online, or sometimes like the local flea markets will even have them. So those are a great tool to have, a great tool of the trade, basically. Another one to do with like stuffing and working with your project is this stuffing fork. I think you can get them online. I can't remember exactly where I got this one. They come in different sizes too. And what's nice is if you have a small piece, it's got a little, you can see on the tip there, it's kind of U-shaped, and it's to grab the fabric and twist it up so that it's like that, and then you can stuff it into the small spaces. Great for stuffing the nose. When I say give stuff the noses, with a little polyfill. That's what I'm talking about, and this is what I use to do that. Or if I need to push something in and pack it down, I use this tool. You just have to be careful. There is a free video out there, tutorial on how on me stuffing pieces and everything, the items, the pieces to the pattern. So you can check that out to see how I go about it. So that's another tool of the trade. Let's see, I think there's only a couple more things left here. Another thing that you may see in my pattern list and items that I use, an Exacto knife, just a straight blade, and that's just a cut through the fabrics. And this is what I'm talking about. Easy to come by. Walmart carries them, craft stores carry them, so easy to find. You can find them where they're got some cushioning, you know, here at the end for holding. Those work great. The other item here is a sewing awl, and usually they're used for like holding the material when you're sewing on the sewing machine, you know, and you need a fine tip to push the fabric or help guide the fabric. But I also, since it has such a nice tip on the end there, and believe me, it's sharp. This is what I use to poke the holes when I need to run like wires for the antenna or something like that. Be very careful. You know, I have poked myself many a time. This is made by Clover, and so you should be able to find it online, or I'm sure there's other brands out there as well, local craft stores, or like I said, online. So those are another couple items that I use. And I think the last thing that I want to talk about are the like pipe cleaners, and or what also are known as Chanel stems, that I use a lot. Now you can use the Chanel stems that you can buy from the craft stores. That's what this is. They're fairly inexpensive, and you can get them from Walmart. You can get them from your local craft stores. They work well. The wire is a little more flimsy, and then say like these are actually pipe cleaners. This is it's not as fluffy as the these particular Chanel stems. And the wire on my pipe cleaner here is a lot stiffer, so it will hold its shape better. I purchased these online through a company. They're called Long's Extra Absorbent Pipe Cleaners, and it's for cleaning pipes. You know, smoking pipes. But I found that these work really well when I need to use them in my projects. So this is what I'm using. There will be a video tutorial on how to use these and what I mean when I say twist the stems together and sewing across these. So be on the lookout for that video later on. But that is all for today. I just wanted to share with you all of the tools of the trade, and I hope this was very informational for you. If anybody has any more suggestions or ideas, or you have questions about any of the supplies, please don't hesitate to ask. I'm here to help. Thanks for watching, and have a wonderful day. Bye.